It's Tuesday, February 27. In the headlines, local government elections final counting begins today. In business news, the Bank of Jamaica says 60% of the notes in circulation are polymer currency. Regionally, Caricom chair calls for removal of trade barriers within the group. And in sports, CWI regional 4-day championship standings. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom. Preliminary results from the Electoral Office of Jamaica shows the Jamaica Labour Party leading in 7 municipal corporations. Those preliminary results also show the People's National Party, PNP, leading in 4 municipal corporations with 2 others tied. In the breakdown, the PNP is leading in Hanover, Manchester, Westmoreland and St. Mary municipal corporations based on preliminary results. Party leader Mark Golding was in good spirits Monday night.
Comrades, we have won the popular vote in Jamaica. We have many more divisions than we had before. We have won the KSAMC with a large margin with the popular vote. We have picked up additional council, and there are a couple of results that we're waiting confirmation of. Overall, the PNP has definitely won this first council election.
The preliminary breakdown also shows the JLP ahead in St. Catherine, Portland, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, Clarendon and St. Elizabeth. The Kingston and St. Andrew and the St. Thomas municipal corporations are tied. JLP's head, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, is calling the results a show of victory for his party.
So, without question, the Jamaica Labour Party has won the municipal elections. Without question. How do you interpret? Well, if we look at what existed before, the PNP retained retained Westmoreland, which they had, Hanover, Manchester, and St. Catherine. The Jamaica Labour Party retained all that it had, which was Trelawney, St. Mary, St. Anne, St. James, St. Elizabeth, St. Thomas, and Portland. Yeah. So, how do you interpret? Clearly, the people of Jamaica maintains confidence in the government of the Jamaica Labour Party.
The final counting of ballots is happening on Tuesday, February 27 at designated counting centers. Meanwhile, based on the preliminary counting of ballots, the voter turnout for the local government election is 29.6%. That is the report from the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. The Electoral Commission of Jamaica is reporting that the voter turnout for the local government election is based on the preliminary counting of ballots. Just over 2 million persons were eligible to vote this time. A little over $1.5 billion has been earmarked to complete the Southern Plains Agricultural Development Project in the upcoming fiscal year. The Agriculture Ministry aims to provide access to irrigation water on sugar lands to increase agricultural productivity. According to the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, it includes the construction of wells and canal network and the development of an associated agricultural infrastructure in the arable areas of Amity Hall and Bridgepen, St. Catherine, and Parnassus in Clarendon. For fiscal year 2024-2025, the targets of the project include the commencement of construction of agricultural buildings, completion of the rehabilitation of the Heartlands Canal, and construction of pump houses and a reservoir at Amity Hall and Bridgepen. This is in addition to the development of a gender-responsive training manual for farmer groups, installation of Jamaica Public Service power supply at 3 well sites in Parnassus and the completion of a matching grant scheme operations manual. The Heart NSTA Trust and the Planning Institute of Jamaica have joined forces with the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding to drive human development, foster social sustainable communities, and combat crime and violence through innovative models. Danita Rodney tells us more.
According to reports, the MOU marks the culmination of ongoing discussions between the PIOJ, represented by its Community Renewal Program, CRP, and the Heart NSTA Trust towards framing a mechanism for collaboration in the implementation of appropriate programs for building the capacity of citizens within volatile and vulnerable communities. Speaking at the signing ceremony, PIO Director Dr. Wayne Henry says the collaboration comes against the background of the social and economic realities that often confront the citizens within the target communities, noting that many youth in these areas have been underprepared for integration into the productive sector of the society. He further noted that the MOU will allow for the delivery of interventions in several communities identified under the government's Citizen Security Plan. Meanwhile, Managing Director at Heart, Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, said the strategic alliance between the entities is expected to catalyze positive change in the lives of Jamaicans. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I'm Danita Rodney.
Stakeholders in the deaf community are invited to join a free webinar to engage stakeholders in a discussion around the Disabilities Act on Wednesday, February 28. The Jamaica Association for the Deaf, JAD, is hosting the webinar, which is scheduled to begin at 10 a.m. Executive Director of the Jamaican Sign Language Bible Translation, Tashai Widmer, who will serve as moderator for the webinar, says that for countless years, the deaf community, including deaf and hard of hearing people and hearing allies, has been hard at work exercising and mobilizing efforts and initiatives to sensitize the public on how to engage all deaf and hard of hearing people in all spheres of life. The webinar is open to the public and will be live streamed on JAD's YouTube page at Jam Deaf. For more information, you can contact the JAD on SMS or WhatsApp at 876-336-5831. That's 876-336-5831, or call at 876-970-1778-9, or you can email them at admin@jamdef.org.jm. In this week's episode of Living Healthy, we talk to Dr. Elizabeth Rose Johnson on the benefits of eating healthy food, which will replace medicine and prevent diseases. Dr. Elizabeth Rose Johnson says eating healthy can heal the body in many ways.
Numerous studies have shown that eating the right types of food that are whole foods, anti-inflammatory, natural, in an unprocessed state, are very, very capable of healing the body. So there are studies that show that when you eat certain foods, particularly things high in antioxidants like berries and Brussels sprouts, the sprouts, the bean sprouts and fruits and vegetables, you can actually see a genetic change at the DNA level where you're getting age reversal and changes in the body at the cellular level. So if you take healthy food that was meant to be consumed by the body, not processed, this is how God put the food on the earth and gave us the organ systems and the enzymes to break these foods down. They're full of nutrition. You give persons these foods, this goes a far way in helping them to not only prevent disease, will help to heal their bodies, as well as in some cases studies show reverse certain conditions like cardiovascular disease.
Dr. Johnson explains that to maintain a healthy weight, we should take into consideration the food we put into our bodies.
You have to keep your insulin levels low. Every time you look at something as a snack or a food, you say, is this going to spike my blood sugar? If the answer is yes, do not eat it, okay? So when you're choosing a snack, instead of cheese and crackers or sandwich or a pack of chips or a pack of cookies, pack of Oreos, that kind of thing, a fruit that is high in fiber may have a little sugar, but fruits in small amounts like an apple, a pear, a kiwi fruit, watermelon are good options for snacking as long as you don't eat too many, because that fiber will slow down how fast the sugar gets into your system and you're going to get the nutrition and stuff. You can do things like a handful of nuts. So there are certain nuts that are amazing, very high in omega-3, and I'm a big bully for omega-3. Everybody should be on an omega-3 supplement, but you can get it from nuts. So walnuts are a good source of omega-3s. You can do pistachios. Pistachios are good because when you open them and you see the shells, you will be able to see the amount you ate. You cannot eat a whole tin of cashew nuts and expect that that's a good snack, because that's 1,800 calories. You will never burn that off. So you have to count it. So maybe between 12 and 18 nuts at a time is a good snack. So you portion control. You can do things like nut butters. So a little bit of peanut butter or almond butter on some slices of apples. You can do a little tuna salad, or you can do hummus or salsa or guacamole. Instead of using pita chips or flour cracker, slice up some cucumbers thick, soak them in salty water and dry them, and then you use that as your cracker. So you're getting your fiber, you still get your little crunch, you get the nice taste of whatever you're putting on it, but you're not going to get the blood sugar spike of the cracker because you have a different cracker now. So it's trying to find snacks that are not highly processed, that you can make yourself. Even a little tin of tuna, make a little tuna salad, and you can have that with the same cucumber slices. You can do some crudités, so that's like small pieces of broccoli, maybe slices of carrots and cauliflower. You blanch them so they're still crunchy with a little bit of salad dressing. That's a good snack.
Living healthy is not only about eating healthy. Other factors are involved.
You have to look at lifestyle in general, so you have to look at how well you sleep. Sleeping is totally critical, because if you don't sleep, your body cannot repair itself. Hunger hormones go out of whack. The hormones that make you feel full go out of whack. So cortisol is high, so you get more belly fat. You need to sleep. You need to rest. You need stress relief. You need to have something that keeps you feeling calm and grounded and gets rid of the stress and helps you to forget about all the things on the periphery and gets you into yourself. You must do something that makes you feel happy, because happiness is very important as well. You know, if you want to pray, you want to meditate, all of those things are important. So it's your diet, how much water you drink, exercise, move your body every day. Even if you don't have a trainer, make an effort to walk 10,000 steps a day any way you can. Walk up the stairs at work, walk around the place, park further in the parking lot. Every step counts. Your body doesn't care you're not in a gym. So if you put everything together, it then will work out to an improved lifestyle.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide through the latest happenings in the world of business. The annual budget debate is slated to take place in March, and the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service is on a mission to get all Jamaicans to pay attention to details of the presentations. The budget outlines the government's planned fiscal year expenditure on projects and services programmed for implementation and delivery. A total of $1.3 trillion is the proposed spend for fiscal year 2024-2025, as contained in the estimates of expenditure, which were tabled in the House of Representatives on February 15 by Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clark, following the ceremonial opening of Parliament. Director of the Corporate Communications and Public Relations Branch, Shelley-Ann Weeks, told JIS News that the ministry is pursuing a robust campaign to heighten public awareness about the upcoming budget debate by actively engaging persons on traditional and social media platforms. The Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, is reporting that 60% of the notes in circulation are polymer currency. When we look at the notes in circulation, the number of pieces, it is about 40% that are the old notes. So it is a 60-40 ratio. We are no longer issuing old notes since last year, November, said Deputy Governor Natalie Haynes. She was speaking during the BOJ's quarterly monetary policy press conference on February 21. The new Jamaican banknotes were officially released to the public on June 15, 2023. The old notes are likely to be completely removed from circulation by 2025. Over the next 2 years, the BOJ will ensure that all adjustments have been made to facilitate full distribution of the notes, including retrofitting automated teller machines. Banks are currently at about 99% in terms of ATM acceptance of the new notes, as well as issuance of new notes, Mrs. Haynes said. However, for some banks, one in particular, in relation to the $2,000 note, we're still retrofitting for that. So when that is achieved, you will have full coverage for new notes in all ATMs across the island, she pointed out. This marks the second time in Jamaica's history that a new series of banknotes is being introduced and comes 54 years after the country got its own currency in 1969. JN Money, the Jamaican-owned remittance brand, currently operates more than 8,000 agent locations in more than 15 countries and has expanded its Hartford, Connecticut brand in the United States. Senior Country Manager at JN Money Services USA Incorporated, Harry Burasingh, said after 14 years at the location, it became necessary to expand the store to provide customers with more comfort and to further cement the Jamaican remittance brand in the community. Remittance services are very important for many Jamaicans overseas and friends of Jamaicans. Burasingh underscored, affirming that money services businesses such as JN Money play a very important role in keeping Jamaicans overseas connected with their homeland and their loved ones. Beyond that, JN Money plays an important role in preserving Jamaican culture overseas. Through its Hartford branch in particular, in partnership with community members, the company has been working to assist with several small cultural events and initiatives. The company also intends to deepen its relationship with the West Indian Social Club of Hartford, which is a cultural center of education and entertainment and a resource for Caribbean migrants in Hartford, Connecticut. Burasingh revealed that JN Money, through its parent organization, the Jamaica National Group, is entrenching itself in other diaspora communities in the U.S. through the JN Circle, which seeks to bring JN members and customers within communities together to deliver initiatives that empower residents. During trading on February 26, 2024, the top 3 advancing stocks covered the finance, energy, and real estate sectors on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Sterling Investments US dollar shares advanced 20.69% to close at 2 cents with 150 shares traded. MPC Caribbean Clean Energy Limited JMD shares advanced by 18.99% for $18.18 jump to close at $113.93 with 75 shares traded. 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited Variable Preference shares advanced by 14.21% for a $27 jump in price to close at $217 with 8 shares traded. On the declining stocks that traders experienced on February 26, 2024, the top 3 losers covered the technology, finance, and energy sector on the stock exchange. Productive Business Solutions 10.5% preference share declined by 16.28% for a drop in price of $209 to close at $1,075 with 186 shares traded. Cygnus Real Estate Finance Limited US dollar shares declined by 7.86% for a modest 1 cent drop to close at 8 cents with 347 shares traded. Future energy source company FESCO declined by 5.11% for a 17-cent drop to close at $3.16 with 10,977,580 shares traded. Trading activity on the first-tier market of the Trinidad and Tobago stock market for February 26, 2024 registered a volume of 92,136 shares, crossing the floor of the exchange valued at TT $1,181,437.64. National Enterprises Limited was the volume leader with 55,000 shares changing hands for a value of TT $214,562.40, followed by Massey Holdings Limited with a volume of 19,845 shares being traded for TT $86,686.48. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies, we turn to the Forex market. On February 26, 2024, Bank of Jamaica reported that US $23.6 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $24.2 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $156.78 and bought the US dollar for $155.34. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.44, which represents a profit for Forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian Forex traders earned a trading profit of 37 cents from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $116.31 and bought for $115.94. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $8.20, selling it for $239 and buying it for $192.19. For the credit report tip of the day, your credit report and score are used by lenders to determine the interest rates they offer to you. With a higher credit score, you're more likely to qualify for lower interest on loans and credit cards. This means you'll spend less money on interest payments, freeing up funds that you can invest in your career, whether through funding education, attending conferences, or networking events. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed, stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news, Guyana's president and Caricom chair, Dr. Mohamed Ifran Ali, urged member states to remove their trade barriers within Caricom at the opening ceremony of the 46th regular head of government meeting. Sunil Lala has more.
The opening ceremony for the Caricom Heads of Government meeting, Guyana's president and chair of Caricom, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, called on citizens in the Caribbean to put pressure on member states to remove trade barriers, saying it's of no use to the region.
We are too small to be competing against each other. People of this region, call upon your leaders to remove these barriers. Let them hear you loudly. These barriers need to go and must go urgently.
Dr. Ali, who has now taken up the mantle from outgoing chair Roosevelt Skerritt, also took a shot at certain lyrics from artists in the Caribbean, noting that lyrics of positivity and positive change are fundamental for the region.
Only recently, Prime Minister Rowley and I were having a conversation when many young people, young, brilliant people, question the decision of not having a certain artist perform in the country because that artist is on an Interpol red list.
President Ali also touched on a proposed regional ferry between TNT, Barbados and Guyana, saying it has attracted interest.
We will have a single window operating in all the countries. We're starting with Guyana, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago as the test, and only announcing that we are already getting tremendous private sector interest to take this in the wider region, and this will be an important development for our region.
Haiti formed part of the discussions of the Caribbean Community Caricom leaders on Monday at the 46th regular summit being hosted in Guyana. This considering the ongoing violence and humanitarian crisis in Haiti, which has increased since the assassination of Haiti's President Jovenel Moise in July 2021. More from Mahalia Joseph Wharton.
Before the day's discussion began, Caricom Chairman President of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, in addressing the regional media, said he was hopeful that during discussions in the business session Caricom Heads of Government meeting, that Caricom would be able to point the Haitian people in a direction where solutions can be achieved.
And of course, this requires all stakeholders in Haiti, especially, to give a bit, to compromise a bit, and to express a collective willingness to achieve the outcomes that we are setting ourselves to achieve.
As it pertains to climate change, he said Caricom continues to advance the region's position in climate change financing, adaptation and mitigation.
A fairer mechanism through which new loans are secured for developing world, in keeping with the just transition and in keeping with the objective of all of us achieving our climate targets. An important issue in the region is the building of SMEs, and we'll be looking at ways in which the region can work on enhancing the work of SMEs, in which our partners can help us.
President Ali said food and energy security were two important topics also to be discussed.
In Barbados, a pediatrician and neonatologist is warning about the possibility of an outbreak of contagious diseases such as measles. Dr. Clyde Cave's warning comes amid declining rates of childhood vaccination.
All of us have had the MMR vaccine. The whole population was protected because the few who couldn't or didn't have it would be unlikely to be exposed because everybody else would stop the transmission if it came in. That's not the situation we're finding ourselves in now. And as a tourist economy where we have people coming in, and in a world situation where there are outbreaks in the United States as well as in the United Kingdom, and with our vaccine coverage from measles, mumps, and rubella going down, it's a matter of time before we have an outbreak of measles. So if you have 10 people in a room and one person comes in for a short period of time, 9 of those 10 are going to come down with it. As opposed to some of the other viruses where it might be 2 or 3 and the whole thing would be shorter. And yes, it's a rash and some itching and some runny nose, but they can also get like a viral encephalitis, which is a viral meningitis kind of thing, and children can die from measles.
In sports, we head over to the pitch with cricket and take a look at the latest standings from Day 4 of the CWI Regional Championships.
3 rounds of matches have been completed in the CWI Regional 40 Championships, with the Windward Islands Volcanoes jumping to first spot. They moved to 62.2 points after defeating the combined campuses and colleges in their last round. The Leeward Islands Hurricanes and Barbados Pride are a close second and third with just 2.8 points separating them. The Jamaica Scorpions are fourth with 29.6 points, while the TNT Red Force close off the top 5 on 27.6 points. Round 4 begins on Wednesday, 13th March, and will see 4 teams in action in Trinidad, with the Red Force clashing with the Windward Islands at the Queen's Park Oval, while the CCC host the Leewards at the Sir Frank Worrell Ground in St. Augustine. Matches also continue at the Coolidge Cricket Ground in Antigua and Sabina Park in Jamaica.
And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.